Ooh, what song are you listening to?
Nothing right now.
Oh, that's mine.
Are you hearing music on the booth?
That's coming from my end. That song's pretty tight though. It's Alias Clay.
Yeah, I noticed that after a second.
Alias Clay, We Will March. It's got a bunch of Standing Rock stuff in it. Welcome back.
She's great.
All right,
So,
we're gonna have to do an audio check because I got Adam calling in because Facebook won't let me invite nobody to my stream. I guess they didn't. I don't know. They don't like me no more.
right. I'm banned on 2 different accounts right now.
All right, I'm gonna
We'll
crank your
figure.
volume up. Can you guys hear Adam?
Testing, testing. Sound check.
You guys hear that? I may have to move my phone a little closer. Can somebody let me know if you can hear Adam, please?
Testing, testing. Sound check. Can anyone hear me?
Can anybody hear me? Hold on.
Are there people on the stream already?
Yeah, there's people on the stream already. Let me
Cool.
just comment in there. I'll have to tag you in this video later or something.
Yeah. It's so weird. Like, I could comment on people's posts, but not in groups. I can't post in groups that I started. I can't write on my own wall, but then people can tag me in things and it'll go on my wall. It's like the
Jesus.
weirdest ban ever.
Well, I don't know why I can't invite you to the stream. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Well, like I'd sign on, I'd hit the button and say it would let you know that I was trying to get on the stream, and then the button would just vanish.
All right. You introduce yourself. I'm pretty sure everybody knows Adam Rice, but I'm gonna let him kind of introduce who he is and where he's from and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Adam here again. It's been a while since we've done one of these. From Maine. I've been more movements now than I can count. Went to France last April and kind of learned how they went from all these small isolated groups to a big movement, and it's been kind of trying to do that, like building coalitions between smaller like cause-based groups, and yeah, just volunteering, helping where I can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much of an introduction I really need.
No, that's a good introduction.
I'm just a guy doing stuff.
I'm just a guy doing stuff. Me too. Um, well, the main subject for tonight I wanted to touch base on because we're all feeling winter already is Operation Safe Winter. Operation Safe Winter is in
Yeah.
full effect, and we got many people all over the place that are uh, trying to raise awareness to homelessness, trying to get donations and stuff like that to bring blankets, food, or whatnot. You want to tell me, because I know you're involved with Op Safe Winter out in your area, what do you guys have going on?
So there's like kind of a lot of different things going on, at least like regarding like the homelessness issue in Portland. So like our ANONs are doing like the Op Safe Winter. And then we have like other groups doing the same thing too. Like in Maine, we have the Maine Homeless Veterans Alliance that kind of hits other areas around the state, passing out blankets and year round pretty much, like taking one day a week to go out and just feed the people who are living outside. Um, those are basically the 2 different groups that I've connected to so far that are just like doing like the harm reduction, like making sure everyone's safe outside and has like hygiene kits and like boots and coats, things like that. But then like what we also have is like a newly formed coalition here where we've got like a few people who are actually homeless, like a couple landlords, some lawyers, a couple independent journalists, and what we're kind of trying to do is organize tenants in buildings to prevent homelessness by trying to like get the rents down, deal with like no cause evictions, and
Right.
form like a functional tenants union. So that's like a whole nother aspect, I guess, that we're trying to address now is like preventing people from becoming homeless, as well as like how do we get people housed that are homeless, so there is no more homelessness.
How many people
moving?
How many people did you start off with when you jumped in? Was it just you?
In the group.
Yeah, when you
so
started.
I found that.
Go ahead.
So there was a march. I think it was September. It was just this one. She was homeless at the time. She organized a march to end homelessness, which I was like super excited about. About 40 people showed up, and that kind of just like birthed this group, because there was a building here. There was like 400. It was like the last low income building in Portland, in our city, and they sold it pretty much to become like luxury condos.
Oh shit!
So that like turned into like, how do you organize the tenants and like push back against this decision?
Right.
And it's still happening, but they ended up with like another year now before anybody would have to move out of the building.
Jeez.
So it did buy a lot of people time to figure out like, how do we fix this like short-term crisis? But now there's all kinds of people coming to this like idea of like, how can we be like drafting policy? Can we be organizing protests? And like one thing, like every time there's an agenda item that deals with like housing or homelessness, now there's like people going to City Hall, like taking notes on the things they're saying, the decisions they're making.
Right.
One of the biggest issues right now too in our city is like, there's one person in the coalition from a group called Homeless Voices for Justice. And they kind of have been advocating for the homeless for like a really long time. And they're trying to move our shelter like way far to the outskirts of our city and reduce the number of beds, so there'd be like less people who could even sleep there. And they'd be really far from all their services. So it's like a really awful deal that would make things worse. So like when things like that happen, it just makes it a lot easier to get more people like in and giving their opinion. Now it's easier to get things in the paper so people read about it. And like tomorrow, we actually have people from the shelter coming to actually go into City Hall and like give their story about like why this is like really awful for their community. It's going to make it worse and not better.
Right.
So it's like.
I know. Where were you at? Where were you at for the Million Mask March? Because I noticed you guys were feeding the homeless out there during that.
Yeah, we're in Philly.
Philly.
That was Jen and DJ Welch pretty much ran point on that through like the Anon Northeast operation.
Nice.
Like a lot of people, I guess, were saying how they wanted to do more than just a march, so we organized that off to start the day off. It was funny, too, because, like, the people coming for the food, one guy came up to me and he thanked me. He's like, this is the longest I've ever gone without the police bothering me in, like, a whole year. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. You see, and that's good because I want to encourage people to get out there. You don't even need a large group of people. It could just be a small group of people and get out there and help with the community, you know. I got a request from people that I'm currently working on.
What the fuck?
I'm doing a blanket drive, helping out with a blanket drive for Wounded Knee. Yeah, are you still there? Oh, I'm calling back. Anyways, I'm doing a blanket drive for a Wounded Knee. There we go. Hold on. Yeah, you're back. Hold on real quick. I'm going to post this address. I'm going to create an event tomorrow. There's been a request for 60 blankets. I got about 23 now blankets. I'm not sure how many have been sent out there. But if you could send some blankets, here's the address you could send it to. We're trying to reach those 60 blankets. Yeah, like I said, I got about 23. I'm about to send these off, and someone had told me to go down to, what was that? Hold on, I got it in my notes. The Salvation Army, and you could buy like a pallet of blankets for cheap, so I'm going to check into that. But I'm going to create an event so it's easier to share out. But there's the address there you can send blankets to if you could help out with that. Right. So,
That's a Wounded Knee thing, right?
Yeah, that's for the Wounded Knee blanket drive that we got going on. People just ask for
Awesome.
some help, and help where we can. So what else you got going on
Right.
in Maine? I know you got a whole buttload of stuff going on.
So, the two biggest things right now are like the environmental stuff,
Ooh,
and a lot of the like regional groups right now are trying to basically shut down this coal plant. It's in Bow, New Hampshire, and it really only generates about 2% of power during the year for like overflow days where there's high demand, and like we're subsidizing that as ratepayers with like $50 million a year. We're basically paying to keep it running when it's not even being used. So there's been this campaign now to start using like protest and direct action to actually get, like the elected officials to do something about transitioning this to a renewable clean energy source. And we did that action a couple months ago. And I started doing like research on like how much power is actually generated here and like what would it cost to just do this with like solar or wind or
right.
I'm finding now that hydropower actually can create pollution too, so that might not be the best alternative.
Right.
But it would be like 10 million to do solar, and we're spending 50 million a year to keep the coal plant open.
Jesus, that doesn't
So
make no
like,
sense.
so that, so that's a big push. Is like many states have all kind of come together with like multiple different movements.
Well, something has to happen
Deal
on
with that.
on the environmental issues, because it seems like everything is escalating at such a rapid rate right now. We got like
And I think they picked that place
Venice is
because
underwater.
you know it's not running all year round. It's like if you just turned the place off, it wouldn't like nobody would lose power. Like it's pretty much not even being used. So that's like a really great place to start the transition.
Right.
And with $50 million, we could actually be generating more power to help transition other places. So
And are you still involved with
that's one big thing.
still got the youth involved in all that?
Yeah, the next thing I think that's happening is December 6th. And there's
December
like
6th.
the youth main climate action, there's like main strikes, sunrise movement, and now the youth and the adult groups are like working together collaboratively. They're planning they're calling it a lion. The same thing as a die-in, but the youth have decided they don't want to call it a die-in because there's a lot of stigma around suicide, and they want to keep like the intention not around anything to do with death as much. So they're doing a quick lie-in, I think, at our city hall, and I think we'll have already had the resolution passed at that point. They're doing a lot of really cool creative stuff, so
That's good.
that's
Well,
really good. There's
and you
a
guys
lot
are
of
also
nice young people.
and you're also fighting ice. So
Yeah.
you got so much going
So,
on. I wish I
yeah.
was in Maine. Over here
So,
in
like-
Iowa, it's dead, man. There's nothing going on here.
So like there's a few things like the ACLU is right now working on a campaign with buses because like pretty much on a weekly basis, if not more than that, the Border Patrol and ICE agents will just board all the buses and
Yep.
demand everybody hand over ID paperwork,
Yep.
which a lot of the times there's nobody on that bus that's undocumented, and they're violating everyone's civil rights in the process. So they're working to get it to a point where they have to have a warrant to go on any of the buses and search anyone for anything.
I've had that happen to me at least 4 times. I've had that happen to me. Had Border Patrol board the Greyhound bus, and I was nowhere near border. I'm in the middle of the United States, and I mean I refused to give them any information, but I filmed them the whole time too, and it just didn't make sense why they were on a Greyhound bus.
Right. But yeah, and that's I guess the ACLU actually has a lawsuit right now against Greyhound because they did a freedom of information request.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to identify the parts of their policy that we're allowing them to just do this, which violate rights, and actually create like a suggestion that would like eliminate that loophole.
Right.
And but they do not work. So I guess there's a lawsuit right now for that.
Good.
And
we need to get rid of that shit.
We're trying to identify like what parent companies actually own these different bus lines, so we know like who to even be bringing these demands to actually get it changed. Because like you walk into the bus station, that's just an average guy working. You can't hand him a list of demands and think it's going to get to the board of directors.
Man, hopefully you guys figure that out, because you may set the precedence for everybody else to follow suit, you know?
Yeah, and the same thing like with Portland, Oregon, you know, they've made a few big leaps too. Like one thing they succeeded in was like the police there were letting ICE agents train in their facilities, and they had a ordinance passed that federal officers couldn't use municipal facilities, so they had to terminate a bunch of contracts. So we're trying to do something to that effect too, just making it harder for the facilities to operate in the city. Also, pretty much any angle possible. You know, that's my stance. You know, the immigrants aren't taking people's jobs. Like the corporations are fucking with the economy. And,
well, regardless,
you know,
regardless, it's still a violation of human rights. You know, it's a violation of human rights. More than likely a violation of international laws, you know.
And like if you really start like looking into civil rights too, like the 14th Amendment is like, it clearly says like anyone subject to a jurisdiction is also given the same protections of like the same civil rights offered. So like they still have to have a warrant, they still have a right to remain silent, they still have a right to a jury trial. And the whole system's just like doing whatever it wants pretty much. And it's like all this money that we're paying ICE to just basically do these like racist raids, we could be funding courts and people could just be quickly becoming citizens and like vetting people and doing it the right way. And
I've been reading this book. Man. It's called Fascism, The Warning. And it's crazy because the more you look at the current events that are happening in the United States, it's completely fascist. But they disguise it behind like nationalism and a weird form of patriotism, you know? But it's fueled off it.
I'm starting to wonder if they put like a different like on it in different countries to
every time
people, so nobody even understands what is and isn't fascism anymore, and it just creates another divide and conquer.
Exactly, because most people will associate fascism with like supremacy, like white supremacist or something like that. But fascism exists everywhere. You know, we just seen a fascist take over in Bolivia. You know, if you look at the history back to Mussolini in Italy and shit, you know, if there's fascism comes in many forms. It's not delegated to just one race, you know, or one ethnicity or any of that. You know, it's built off of hate. It's built off of the fact that you'll do anything by any means, whether it's violence, to achieve your goals. You know, and man, I clearly see that from Trump. I have seen it from the beginning. He's incited so much violence and division in our country.
Oh yeah.
But I've given up on the politics.
Somebody always has to be superior to everybody else.
I've given up on the politics, man. It's like this whole year I've watched this all play out. I watched it all play out since Standing Rock. I'm at the point now.
Great.
I'm at the point now where it's like watching all these revolutions pop off. It seems like it's the only way.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you on that one.
I mean, how long have we been going to protests? How long have we been
chasing our tails in a circle over and over again?
I mean, we try to push these policies. We sign these petitions. We go to our congressmen. We go to our state reps. We go to who we can, and we just get ignored anyway.
Right.
You know, and look at the facts.
That's like the hardest thing for me is like going to all these city council meetings. It's like, you have to do it, like, to at least, like, be present and say something. But it's like every time I walk in there, like, I know they're never going to listen. They're
No,
not
hell
going to
no.
do any of the stuff we're asking.
No, because they're taking orders from somewhere else. They're just looking at money, profits and money. And to me, it's just, I don't know. It don't make no sense. We got all this money for all this crazy stuff like war and manufacturing all these weapons and building space shuttles. But we can't take care of basic human needs. We can't fix the ecosystem. We can't fix us. We can't fix this nation. We can't fix those who lived on this land before us. You know, I mean, it just, I don't know. I get at a loss, man.
It's crazy.
It is insanity. It's complete insanity, and it just seems like we live in a very dark time. And
Yeah, it's like we spend like, I think it's like 53 cents out of every dollar we pay in federal taxes goes to like the Pentagon, the DOD, and it's like we're literally funding like all of this violence that's creating all of these like humanitarian disasters,
exactly,
and then we're blaming the victims, and we're not just saying like, hey, like maybe I should stop giving my money to the government to cause these problems, and then there'd be like a way to fix.
convince a whole nation of people about this. You know, I mean, right now it seems like everybody's so split left and right that we can't get. You know, they think with each other. You know, they've lost the truth. They've lost the reality of the system. You know, we're not at war with Republican versus Democrat.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what they wanted, and it fueled that crap, and everybody fell for it. I listen to it every day, man. It's like a joke they play around here, but I mean it's real. You know, there's Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, and every time they come into my work, it's this big old argument. Oh, you know, they're making fun of the whole impeachment process right now. And it's just dumb because none of this shit changes anything. None of it changes nothing. It hasn't and it won't. I don't care who you guys vote for this year. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same problems. It's going to be the same destruction of our land. It's going to be the same eco disasters. It's going to be the same problems with our health system. It's going to be the same wars that are going on that are murdering countless of innocent lives. You know, nothing is going to change with voting. Voting is not going to change nothing. It hasn't. You know, look at what's going on. Look at what's going on in these other countries and what they're having to do.
So that's kind of my theory. Is like I don't even think we can make it past 2020 without a revolution. Like no matter how I look at that election's gonna.
Yep.
Either it's going to be everyone against the government, or it's going to be one side against the other.
Well, I feel like if the Democrats win, then it's going to spark a mini little civil war because the Republicans that have been following Trump, his little cult following, they're going to be pissed. They're going to be agitated. You know, they see Democrats. They see Democrats as un-American.
What if Trump wins again?
You know, they see, what if Trump wins again? What's going to happen? What's going to take us down that road? I mean, right now they're trying to pump as many pipelines through as they can while Trump's in power because they know he'll sign off on all of them.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And see, my theory, you know, like, it's not much about how do you bridge that gap, but I'm pretty sure like the focal point of why America has this like left versus right problem that doesn't seem to really be happening as much elsewhere is the TV and the media.
Yeah.
Like when I was over in France, like most people never even watch TV. And it's like South America, I'd be a lot of people don't have TVs or cable. I mean, some people must, but that seems like the common thread is that like they're pumping us full of propaganda here, and it's
it's
way
happening,
more intense than.
I know it's happening in Chile because there's someone that messaged the page asking for help because their mainstream won't publish anything that the people are truly wanting. They're putting a whole bunch of false propaganda out in our country.
Now, do you know if people are people aware of that though? Like that would be my thing. It's like if everybody's pretty much aware that the media is corrupt, then they're probably not like, oh yeah, Fox said it, it's true. Like this has to be real because it was on one of these networks.
You know, and maybe the people there in that country know that it's false and propaganda, but say it's us that are watching or people from the United States watching, trying to get an update, you know? They don't know if it's false.
Like I've talked to people within the last 2 months. No idea what like the NDAA laws were. that had no idea that propaganda is legal or
Yep.
used regularly. And it's like that happens. You know, you look at Chile, like they lived under Pinochet, like they've had like a really awful dictator,
Oh,
like kind of like cultural learning, like use these outlets because they're doing these things.
right.
Like here, everyone's just so convinced we're like free, we're safe, like the TV's always true. And it's just like that's something. It seems like some of these other countries that have lived through these like awful historical events have like learned from, and like
Right.
that's never happened here.
It's going
We're
to.
like a little
Something's gonna give in 2020 because I think everybody's pretty fed up. You know, everybody's pretty fed up of the hate, the violence. Everybody's fed up of the destruction of our environment and our planet. They're fed up with the oppression. They're fed up with the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. You know, I mean, it's hard to make it. You know, working these jobs. You know, it's hard to make it. Some of us got to work 3 jobs just to get all the bills paid. You know, just to live in a small, crappy ass house and to drive a vehicle that you got to fix every other week. You know.
And it's sad too because you know if we don't get a revolution, we get civil war. That's a recipe for just more of this whenever that ends.
Yeah.
They're
Or
just
even
gonna
that.
scoop up the messes when people are tired and just put in another whatever we have now. But like, we come together and it's just like everybody uniting to like actually fix things.
Yep.
Well, that'll work if it's everybody.
It will work. It may. I mean, it may pop off a little bit like what we've been seeing in other nations. You know, we will get resistance from the police. You know, we will get hit with tear
Oh,
gas
sure.
and water and all that shit. You know, their tactics. But look at what I mean. I've seen some insane stuff coming out of Hong Kong and Chile and stuff like that. And I mean, these people are they are coordinated. They're using lasers to take down drones and lasers to push armored vehicles back. You know, and then Hong Kong strapping Molotovs to bow and arrows. It's crazy. They're even
building walls.
they're even super gluing bricks in the middle of the road and building barricades in the roads. You know, I mean, I don't know if it'll get that intense here. It depends on how bad these rich people, these elite, really want to keep their power. But I'd rather see a revolution than a civil war.
Oh yeah, and like you know, you look at Hong Kong too. Like people are already being shot with bullets, so it's like there's a natural progression to things. Like I can understand why they're doing some of this extreme stuff.
Well, they're disarmed.
You know,
they don't have weapons. You know, we have the luxury of still having weapons here, so it'd be a different response from our place and stuff like that. You know, but they sent us warnings. You know, don't let them disarm you, or you're gonna become us.
Yeah. Right.
But nobody's paying attention. The mainstream media doesn't talk about none of this.
Oh yeah. You know, it's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and the biggest threat. I mean, there's a lot of threats, but the biggest threat is what's happening to our environment, the water, everything else. You know, to me, that's the biggest threat that we are faced with. Whether it's manufactured by the government or produced by the destruction of pipelines and pollution and everything else, it doesn't matter. It's a real threat. And look at these countries and places that don't have access to clean water. It's going to spread everywhere. The flooding is going to get worse. There's already 5 different islands that vanished. Venice went underwater. The Arctic, I forget where it was at, but melted 70 years early. I mean, it's a reality that nobody wants to look at, that nobody yet. I don't know. It's real to all of us. It's a threat to all of us. That ain't gonna pick and choose who it goes after.
Yeah, that's crazy too. I mean, like you really start getting into Nestle, and it's just like that one corporation that either it's like water or food or all kind of just screwing everyone everywhere.
And who runs our government? Who puts that money in the pockets of these politicians and these policymakers to make all this shit legal? While Nestle pumps out millions of gallons of water.
I'm connecting at our next climate thing is I've been looking at all these different environmental issues in our state, you know, like Nestle taking the groundwater communities, like the power corridor,
Yep.
and all these different things. They're all getting permits from the Department of Environmental Protection.
They're getting permits from the EPA.
Like,
you know?
Yeah, in our state, we have the main DEP, and they're the ones who are authorizing or giving permission to do all these things. And I think it's like the state's version of the EPA. But
and that's why revolution. That's why revolution needs to happen, bro. Like, it's because the corporations trump. The corporations are more important than us, and that's bullshit. These corporations just have their way with everything, and they don't listen to us. The government don't listen to us. The system don't listen to us. Corporations definitely don't listen to us. But they're over here just running crazy, pumping millions of gallons of water, spilling millions of gallons of freaking oil all over the place. And do they get hit with fines? Do they get put out of business? No. You know, but be damned if I get sent to jail because, you know, for whatever reason, because I protest the company or because I locked down to their gates or some shit, or I DDoS their website, you know?
Yeah, like in our state with the corridor, you know, our governor used to be against this project. Then she gets her campaign financed because I think she used to be the district attorney. They finance her campaign. And then it's like they're paying for somebody who won't say anything when this other agency gives the permission. And, like, we don't pick who's in the EPA. Like, we don't vote on those jobs. Like, we have literally no say in who actually makes the decisions for environmental protection. Like, we could vote in any government candidate for any office, and it's still this other agency that, like, they're picking. Yeah. Or that's, like, how do they get their jobs? What are their qualifications?
And then what's the solution for all this? There's so many problems barreled into one freaking clump. There's only one solution. You know, you think voting for one person is going to change things. I mean, we've had a lot of what seem to be positive representatives that got into Congress and stuff like that, but they can only do so much.
That's why I love, like, our XR group is moving towards, like, citizens' assemblies and, like, advocating for, like, the people making more of the decisions and the politicians making much, much less of those decisions, and, you know, like, respecting indigenous sovereignty and, like, all of these other things that are just, like, not part of the process that should be. And it's like, you know, there's all those memes, like, asking the government to reform itself is, like, like, why would they just, like, pay themselves less money, fire all their friends, and then, like, not get, like, a free pension for the rest of their life?
Right.
You know?
Well, you know, I don't know. It seems like one thing that for sure needs to be done is corporations need to have no say-so in politics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Zero, none, nada. You know? It should be all based off of us, the people, you know, and it's just like, it seems like they've taken all the power, and there's nobody, I don't care who we vote for, but there's nobody that has fed me with the confidence that shit's going to change.
Yeah, not in a ballot box.
Nope. You know, it just, and even if it is, it's going to be small little pieces at a time, and it's not going to be enough to affect true change that we need. I mean, we're on a timeline, you know, the things and events that we're faced with are not going to just slow down and wait for us to catch up, you know?
You know, and it's like, you know, I look at the Trump presidency as like a great example of, like, even if you had the good guy in office trying to do, like, the right things, and, like, regardless of who you think the good guy is, it's still the same situation. Like, some other group is going to fight them for the whole length of their term. Nothing gets done. Yep. And then you have to vote for someone again and just gamble on another ballot.
And that's the way it's going right now. If a Democrat wins this term, every Republican is going to push against that Democrat, no matter what.
Yeah. Like, even if Bernie had won in 2016, it would have just been the reverse. He would have been trying to do stuff for 4 years, and it would have been Republicans, like, stalemating him at every turn. Yep. That's the hypocrisy of it, is that, like, why would you think if Bernie wins even in 2020 that this wouldn't just keep happening, but just flip-flop? Like, this this is how the system was meant to run.
I think it'll be even worse though, man, because there's some, I don't know, I've seen some crazy people show their true colors under the Trump administration, and crazy events that escalated this whole entire term. And what I witness now is they literally say that Democrats are not American. You know, there's groups already vouching for civil war and this and that. It's like, I don't know. And these are the same people. These are same people that preach about the NWO, but I really don't believe they know what the NWO is.
Are you?
You know, especially if they're pinning against Democrats or pinning against the people. You know, it's we the people against the New World Order. If you haven't figured that out yet, it's we the people versus these royal elite that have all this money, trillions and trillions of dollars, man. I mean, how many lifetimes does it take to spend $1 trillion?
The other thing is, I don't want everyone to have to agree, and it's like, honestly, like, I don't even care if there is a huge group of people out there that has complete opposite views from me. It's like the system's still functioning to keep us fighting each other, and it's not creating a way for people to actually like compromise and meet in the middle and like create new solutions to things that more people agree on.
Exactly.
And it's just like, here, you guys go fight it out over there, and we're just going to keep cashing these checks over here.
Yep. I don't know. It's going to happen. People are going to get. Like, people are just going to get sick of it, man. We're going to get so sick of it.
Not American. The right says the left's not American. Both sides are Nazis now. Like, it's just like crazy.
I know. That's what worries me about this next year.
Like, I don't feel good, blaming the average person who's in that mindset anymore, because it's like, I really don't know, like, what they're watching, what they're reading, like, how much, like, they've, like, I spend all my time, like, digging and researching, like, anons do, but, like, most people can't do that.
Most people don't want to. Most people just turn a blind eye, man. I've talked to so many people that just don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
They don't want to know the facts. They don't want to know, just plain and simple, and then they just vote.
I used to drive my wife crazy, just like, oh my God, I just read about this crazy thing, and just like rant about it for like 2 hours.
Right.
It's like, that's definitely gotta be a goal, is like trying to figure out a way to just like bridge these gaps.
And just shut these places down, man. Because we could show it just hurts to see all these different movements working in a bazillion different directions, and nobody could just meet at one dang place, And we just have a mass number of people there, Everybody wants to do their own thing, but we're all fighting the same fight.
Oh, yeah. That's the sad thing, too, because it's like I've talked to plenty of people that support Trump, that like 90% of the things all on the same page, like ending the Fed, like want to save the but have a different view on it, like, or maybe want to approach different things. But then you get into like certain polarized topics, and like the media's done their job. Like there is no way to compromise on these things, because like too many people are like way too far on the opposite ends of the spectrum, and like how you come back from that?
Just because we talk too much. We sit here and we hash it out too much. We just need to go hit the streets and get it done. The rest, once we remove the issues and the problems, we get corporations out of any say-so of this shit. We eliminate the Fed, whatever it is that we feel is going to make the best change. Whatever is going to hit them the hardest, to where the people's voice will actually matter and they'll start listening. Then we can start hashing these things out. We can start voting on these things, because they'll start to listen. But until then, all we're doing is wasting our time attacking each other with our ideals. There's one thing we can agree on. Change needs to happen.
Like, I've met people on the right, just like over the course of the last year, that like totally aren't extremists on the immigration issue, and like we're totally cool with compromising, and like came up with some really valid like compromises that would like be good for everyone, and didn't end up with deportation. Like there's some people on the right who agree that ICE is really sketchy and shouldn't be doing what they're doing. So like it's totally possible, but like how do you expand that on a wider scale? And I think you're right. Like, we just need to be in the streets and just like having this like just like mindset of like we just need to like come together and like work together and like believe that like we can actually like solve everything if we just do that.
Right. And we, no matter what, we still got to be humane about everything. Every human deserves basic human rights, no matter what. No matter what, it doesn't fucking matter. We shouldn't be. Sorry for my language, but we shouldn't be separating children from their families and putting children in court. You know what I mean? Oh, hold on. Let me get him back. Oh, there he is. I think I just tried to call you at the same time. I don't know. There's just too many issues, but all the issues, when you look at it and break it down, it boils down to the same problematic system. It's the system.
That's one of the projects we're working on right now is getting off the ground during the winter. It's called like the 180 Collaborative. And we're trying to like set up this platform so like we can have someone in like every group and every movement just like working together across all the platforms and movements to like present solutions to problems, then get everybody's input on it, and then like if something's happening, how do we get everybody to mobilize for it? That's kind of the way I'm looking at it. It's like the best way to organize something where you can really like get everybody like participating in the change is like some sort of like a coalition or union where like you don't have to be just like this one thing. Like you can still be part of your movement and then participate in this like bigger thing that's just like everybody.
Yeah, just cross network. It's not a big deal. I do it all the time. I don't know. This election's just weird, man. I don't know. I see them talking about free healthcare and stuff like that, but I don't know why they avoid the environment so much.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
Why do they avoid the environment and what's going on?
I don't know. I'm kind of still theorizing that I think they're like best attempt to divide people is this whole like socialism versus capitalism thing, and with healthcare they can really like turn it into one of those arguments.
They call it, I don't know, socialism comes in a million forms too, just like fascism. You can see socialism in Israel, which is like a fascist socialism. And then what they're trying to push here is like a democratic socialism, but
I don't know. I keep saying we just should ditch the isms too. It's like at the end of the day, if the economy's fucked, why not just make something new?
It's time for something.
Been done before.
It's time for something new.
Everybody's given input on, and then like there you go. There's like no past history of like bad things done in this thing's name before.
Right.
If it doesn't work, then try something else.
Well, maybe we should just start collecting a small group of like minds and just start hitting it hard, man. If you read the history of how they did shit in the past, it doesn't take 7 million people.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too. Is I could look at the healthcare thing. It's like that doesn't. Let's talk about like corporate tax breaks or tax subsidies that we're giving to the people like causing the health problems, or like there's a whole bunch of different ways that you could get to just like give it socialism.
Right.
Like stop funding wars. Now we have like tons more money available. For
quit sending all our tax money to the Pentagon. How about we send it into the people's fund? I'd rather pay for people's health care than pay for these wars that are killing so many people for oil and shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Even just like within 5G, they're like we're giving them $400 billion to the fucking government. It's like put up all these antennas that are just gonna poison us.
Man, 5G is bad. 5G is way bad.
Can't pay for healthcare, but we can pay for our own cancer.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. We can't pay for our people's healthcare, but we can pay for our cancer, just so that we have the luxury of being able to watch these our streams without any interruptions. What's up, Devin?
right?
5G, I hope people have really looked into 5G, man, because 5G is a major threat to us, to the people, to our environment, to animals, man. I mean, it's bad. It's been banned already in so many countries, and we're just super anxious to get it rolling out.
California has one city that successfully paused it, and they're basically pausing the construction until they can do the testing and then put safety regulations that would like limit the acceptable amount of radiation in residential areas.
Acceptable
I
amount
think
of
that's what I think
radiation.
that they,
Hold on. Say that again.
something they want to so like they
Is there an
paused it, created
acceptable
a
amount?
moratorium. Probably not. I think that's probably the end goal. So like, because I was trying to write this article and it was saying with like the 4G towers, there's a longer distance, so that'll dissipate before it actually, like if you're in your house and there's just what we have now, it's probably not gonna like instantly give you cancer or insomnia or like all these crazy things. But if there's like one of these towers on like every other house, like they would have to do, then you're just getting direct current like all the time. So like if those are found to just like not in any way be capable of being safe, then you just can't do it.
So many people are blind of it. You know, the people that are blind are not going to see any of this coming. They're not going to know what to blame it on. And then here we are just preaching and sacrificing so much of our time and our lives to this, and people think we're just nuts, you know. And no matter what I see, there's all these congestion problems coming together, and to me, there's a very good solution to it by shutting down these, feds and going after these corporations and divesting, But people are scared to do that, I don't know why.
That's what I'm trying to do here is because, like, in our city, the council that deals with environmental stuff in the city was, like, super supportive of the resolution. So we're going tomorrow to, like, actually get the city council to vote on it. But, like, they kept saying how, like we don't have pipelines in our city. We don't have fracking. Like, Nestle's not drilling for water here. So, like, they're like, we don't even really know what action we can take other than trying to figure out, like, transitioning onto the new power sources. But even that's not generated in the city. So, like, I thought about that today. Is like 5G is something that they can do in the city. If they stop 5G here, it won't radiate all the groundwater and the soil and the air.
And the air.
And it's like that might be the one thing the city actually can like do something about.
Right. Well, there's a lot of places that there's a lot of places that don't. I don't know. That don't do nothing. And I don't know. It seems like people are not taking to the streets as much anymore, and we're eventually going to hit a point where we're not going to be able to do nothing. We're going to have so many problems happening at once that the only thing we're going to be able to do is try to survive.
Oh, yeah, and that was the other realization I had too. Is like if you really look at like how many things actually need to be dealt with or resolved or fixed or changed, like how could you even continue with like business as usual? It's like everything should be stopped right now. We should really be just like fluoride in the water, and like why is there lead in the water, and just like there's so many different elements to just like health and the environment and like housing and like workers' rights and civil rights that it's just like everything just needs to be overhauled.
Yeah, with this capitalist system, man, everybody's so stuck on trying, the almighty power of the dollar.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the rat race. But no, I think I don't know. I'm putting that energy out there. I've been posting a lot about the revolution. I made a video about the revolution. I've been putting that energy out there and that image out there because a people's revolution is going to be the only solution. Period. These voting ain't going to change nothing.
I just keep trying to manifest it, and it's
Same here.
I can never comprehend the way like that process works, but it's like the more I just like focus on that and visualizing that it's peaceful and that everyone's working together and it's not like one side versus the other, like all these opportunities just keep like happening out of the blue. It's just like help with this, help with that, and it's just like
that's the best.
It really
place
feels
to be.
like something like bigger than all of us is like playing a role in kind of like guiding humanity on the right course.
Yeah, I mean,
And like,
we're getting
I kind
there.
of think like, I, huh?
I said it's getting there in a lot of ways, but man, I mean, it's like a door opening and is always being opening to us, but we refuse to walk through it. But it keeps showing us like, here, this is the way. You know, we
Yeah.
just gotta do it. We just gotta come together, man. We gotta quit with this political crap, man. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it didn't take me long to realize, hey, that left and right crap is just a game.
Yeah. And I'm seeing more people like really starting to realize that, and even people who aren't just like the point where they're just like, I'm neither of these. Like, then people are starting to work, at least here, like starting to work together, like from different populations and like different political backgrounds, and like realizing it's like that's the only way. Like, it's all the people. It's like we're giving the government its power, we're funding the government, like that's the way to do it. And we're just like, we're paying all of you and we're giving you the right to like hold this office. So like, if everybody wants this, then you do it, or people are gonna
Right?
be pissed.
Hell, we should just start setting up like our own banks, our own state banks. Quit paying these fucking feds and stuff, you know. Well, I don't.
I
It
had
doesn't make no
that
sense
idea
to
too.
me, you know. It's like, why are we paying these guys that are creating all these problems, and we're still paying them? We're still doing it. Well, I don't know what we could do to change things.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me give them more of my
like even
paycheck.
if you had just like the banks were just like a public utility, you know, and you just like drastically reduce the interest rate, so it was like a lot easier to get a loan. You don't have to pay as much back, and then all the interest, instead of going to these bankers, would create like a public fund for
Right.
like soup kitchens or social resources or
Anything,
something.
healthcare for people, shit, you know, education for our
Yeah,
children, cleaning up our
that's how
environment
the
state to
Rothschilds
state,
do
you
it.
know, like let's boot the Rothschilds out of our country. Let's
Yeah.
boot this foreign bank that we call the Federal Reserve straight out of here, you know, and let's do something for the people. But I don't know. I'm down for revolution.
Right.
That's where I'm at. I'm at revolution. That's what it's. I just don't see any other
Yeah.
way happening quick enough to be able to combat the problems that we're faced with.
Oh, we'll get there. I mean, that's the thing is like, you know, as much as I worry that it happens a different way, it's like I can't really let myself think that way. It's like the power of thought. Like, how much am I like enabling that to happen just by like focusing on that being the outcome?
It's history, man. It's history repeats itself, and this is the people got to rise together to take back the power from the tyrants. You know. I mean, what are we gonna do? Walk up with flowers and ask them to play? Would you please leave and give us back our power and our money? These guys are going all around the world doing whatever they want. They're vicious. They're violent. Come on, man. You can't deal with that. You can't deal with them with normal ways like you do your neighbor. Like, you know, I mean, these people are beyond humanity at this point.
Oh, yeah. It's like, even if you just look at like how the government operates, I mean, look at those like shutdowns we had like a year or two ago. The government shut down because they couldn't agree on the best way to like deal with, forget what it was. It's like, that's even the government's solution to solving problems. If you can't fix something, shut the government down until you figure it out.
Let's go shut their asses down. I don't know, man. I've been preparing, dude. I've been working out. I've been training. I don't know. I feel it. I feel an energy coming, and people are just getting tired of this. And I'm gonna keep sharing the revolutions that are happening. I got Revolution 101 that I've been posting to the Anonymous Apocalypse page. And people do need to take notes because, man, they're coordinated. These people are coming up in China, in Hong Kong, and Chile, and all these areas. You know, they're coming up with some great tactics. And this is an unarmed population against an armed police military force, you know. And they're making a hell of a stand, you know. I mean, it's possible. Everything's possible. Anything's possible. Oh, man. Well, I think it was I don't know. We kind of went off base of Operation Safe Winter, but that's where we started at. Kind of went from that to the environment.
Back to it because you had something you wanted to
yeah,
this, right?
Yeah, actually, I wanted to be sure to put this out there, and I'm gonna create an event for this too, or just reach out to some people. But to our Anon family, in the spirit of Operation Safe Winter, we got one of our own that is out on the streets right now. Well, he's not really out on the streets. We're saying that they're booting him off the property. He's got his 2 kids with him, and he's trying to get back to East Texas with his kids. He went down to San Antonio, fought hard to get his kids back, and finally got his kids back in his life. And now, he's got these issues that are happening. He's been without food and power and water. He worked his butt off the other day, 60 hours just to make enough for food with these little cash gigs. He's Jay Dillinger. I know a lot of you guys know Jay Dillinger, man. So if you guys could help me, I'm going to put together something. I know I could throw some money in on this to help get him back to East Texas. But I'm going to ask you guys for some help in the spirit of Op Safe Winter. Let's get him and his kids back to East Texas. He could do Walmart to Walmart. We'll figure all that out. I'll put something together for my boy Jay Dillinger, man. He's been with Anonymous forever, for as long as I can remember, and I love him to death. So that's kind of the big thing.
Tag me in it so that'll go on my wall that way too, since I can't share it.
Okay, yeah, I'll be sure to tag you in it. It's like $175 that in gas money that he'll need, but we're gonna have to come up.
$100?
Yeah, 175 and about in gas to get him home, but of course he's gonna need some food money and all that. So we'll be able to. I think we could do a care package for him. Yeah, I think we could do a care package for him. So. Anybody else out there that might want to help, I'll put together a little thing, and let's get him and his family home, all right?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. If the government won't do it, we'll do it. If the government won't take care of our people, we'll take care of our people. That's the spirit of Operation Safe Winter.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, that's why I love the Anonymous family. It's like, some people just think Anonymous are just a bunch of hackers, and then some people, they're just those people out in the streets causing chaos.
They're the ones with the masks on.
99% of the rest of the time, we're reuniting families, feeding the homeless, helping our own, all kind of helping people get sober and shit. And
I love Anonymous, man. Anonymous is beautiful, and Anonymous is everything, and Anonymous is everyone. That's what I love about it, and it's brought me into the path of many other movements. I've met so many great people, and man, I've learned some things I never thought I'd ever learn, and done things I never thought I'd do. And it's brought me back to humanity. It's brought me back to what it means to be a part of a community and taking care of people and taking care of our people that are around us, and it's removed ego. It's removed your race. It's removed all the things and titles and descriptions that are put upon you. And it makes you see that we are all in this together, So that's what I love the most about Anonymous. It's so much more than hacking. Everybody, like you said, sees it as just a bunch of hackers, but we do so much more. We try to get people involved in all the operations that are going on. So I don't know.
Something like Op Safe Winters, that's easy. If 5 or 10 people in an area just get together and just start posting we need coats, blankets, and whatever, and just take some donations for a couple weeks.
And the beautiful thing, what the beautiful thing is?
Much effort at all.
The beautiful thing is you could do Op Safe Winter, and you don't have to go out there in anonymous mass. You don't have to do it, the way that we're doing it. Just come together, put something together for your community, and just do it. We don't care if you're out there representing the anonymous name or anything like that. We're just trying to inspire change. We're trying to inspire humanity. We're trying to inspire good.
We'll just put a flag on or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's about all that I had to share tonight from my end. How about you, Adam?
I'm good with that.
I'm good with that too. I think it's a good place to leave off. Remember, F the system. We got this.
Yeah.
All right, have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man.
Yeah, hey, thank you guys for watching, man. Share this out. Love you guys.